Right now, a grown man is destroying himself over a text message, pulse rising, jaw locked, hands trembling over a screen. He believes someone else made him feel this way. He is wrong. He made himself a puppet. He handed the strings of his nervous system to people who forget he exists by midnight. And tomorrow, he will do it again. This is not anger management. Anger management is a muzzle for men they want tame. This is annihilation. The complete destruction of the part of you that flinches, reacts, and obeys the emotions someone else installed in you. Because here is the darkest truth you will ever swallow. The man who can be angered can be owned, controlled, steered like livestock to slaughter. Machiavelli knew this. Emperors knew this. The man who moves on emotion is the man who dies on someone else's chessboard. Over the next few minutes, I will hand you something dangerous. Not comfort, not motivation. A cold, surgical blueprint to kill the reactive animal inside you and replace it with something they cannot touch, cannot shake, cannot break. Settle in. Lock the door. The price of entry is your weakness. Number 1. Anger is slavery. The weak man calls anger strength. He slams tables. He raises his voice. He believes volume is dominance. He is a fool. Anger is not power. Anger is a confession. It is your enemy's receipt proving they own a piece of your mind rent-free. Every time you react, you bleed, not blood, something worse. You bleed control, you bleed position. You hand your opponent a map of every wound, every insecurity, every fracture inside your foundation, and they will use it every single time. Machiavelli wrote that men who cannot govern themselves will always be governed by others. Anger is the doorway through which that governance enters. It is not an emotion, it is a leash, and every time you wear it, someone else holds the other end. The strong man does not suppress anger. Suppression is weakness wearing a mask. The strong man has simply burned the wiring that connects provocation to reaction. He observes, he calculates. He remains still like stone, while chaos circles him like wind around a monolith, untouched, unmoved, unreachable. Number 2, the economy of reaction. Every reaction you give is a transaction. You are paying someone with your energy, your focus, your peace. And what do you receive in return? Nothing. Emptiness. A hollow chest and a racing mind at 3 in the morning. You are bankrupt and you do not even know it. The weak man believes that responding proves he is strong. He thinks silence is surrender. He thinks walking away means losing. This is the lie they feed to men they want to control. Responding is not strength. Responding is obedience. You moved because they wanted you to move. Think about this coldly. When someone insults you and you react, who controlled that moment? Not you. They pressed a button and you performed. Like a trained dog, like a machine with predictable inputs and outputs. You were programmed and you executed the code without question. Machiavelli understood that the greatest generals never fought battles they did not choose. They selected the terrain. They dictated the timing. They forced the enemy to react while they remained calculated, cold, positioned in shadow. The man who reacts first has already surrendered the war. Now ask yourself, honestly, how many wars have you lost this week alone? How many people rearranged your mood with a sentence? How many strangers hijacked your entire day with one look, one comment, one silence that crawled beneath your skin like poison? You are hemorrhaging power daily and calling it normal. It is not normal. It is a disease of reaction that infects weak men and keeps them chained to the emotional whims of everyone around them. They live and die by the opinions of people who contribute nothing to their survival. The cold man operates differently. He sees provocation for what it truly is: data, information, a revelation of the other person's strategy, insecurity, and desperation. He does not absorb it. He reads it like a general reads enemy troop movements from a hilltop, detached, clinical, lethal. If you are still here, if these words are cutting into something real inside you, then type in the comments right now. I am the stone, not the wind. Say it. Burn it into your mind. because from this moment forward, you are no longer a man who reacts. You are a man who observes, and observation is the first weapon of the truly powerful. Number 3, the weapon of silence. Silence terrifies people. Not the silence of a man who has nothing to say. That silence is empty, forgettable. I am talking about the silence of a man who could speak, could destroy, could dismantle you with words, but chooses not to. That silence is violence without a wound. The weak man fills every silence with noise. He explains himself, he defends himself, he argues, justifies, pleads his case like a defendant begging a jury for mercy. He does not realize the courtroom is imaginary. No one put him on trial. He climbed into the chair himself. The strong man says nothing. He watches. He lets the other person drown in their own assumptions, their own anxiety, their own desperate need for a reaction that will never come. Silence is not the absence of power. Silence is power in its most concentrated, most suffocating form. Machiavelli observed that men reveal themselves most when they are met with nothing. Give a man silence, and he will fill it with his fears, his guilt, his true intentions. He will confess things you never asked about. He will crumble under the weight of your stillness. This is the weapon empires were built on. Not swords, not speeches. The cold, immovable silence of a man who refuses to be provoked. Kings feared this man. Generals studied this man. Because you cannot fight someone who gives you nothing to fight against. You swing at smoke. You drown in air. When someone attacks you with words, they are handing you a loaded weapon and begging you to shoot yourself. Your silence returns the bullet to the sender. Your calm becomes their chaos. Your stillness becomes the mirror that forces them to see their own ugliness reflected back without mercy. Practice this. The next time someone tries to ignite you, do nothing. Do not blink faster. Do not clench your jaw. Do not adjust your posture. Give them absolute stillness. Give them the cold wall of a man who cannot be reached. Watch what happens to them. Watch the panic settle behind their eyes. They will break before you do. They always do, because noise is finite, silence is eternal, and the man who masters silence masters the room, the relationship, the negotiation, and eventually the entire game. He does not play, he watches, and the watchers always win. Number 4, detachment is dominance. The most dangerous man alive is not the strongest, not the loudest, not the richest. He is the most detached, the man who can watch everything burn around him and feel nothing. Not because he is broken, but because he chose to disconnect from the circus of human weakness. Attachment is a chain. Every person you emotionally depend on becomes a lever someone can pull against you. Every opinion you crave becomes a string someone can yank. You think love and connection make you strong. They do not. Unguarded attachment makes you a hostage in a war you never agreed to fight. The weak man attaches to everything. He attaches to compliments. He attaches to validation. He attaches to the idea that people should treat him fairly. And when reality shatters that delusion, he collapses. Not because life is cruel, but because he built his entire identity on foundations made of other people's approval. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must learn how not to be good. This is not about cruelty. This is about surgical removal, removing the need to be liked, removing the need to be understood, removing the desperate, pathetic hunger for acceptance that turns grown men into emotional beggars on their knees. Detachment does not mean you feel nothing. It means nothing controls you. You can love without desperation. You can respect without worship. You can lose without destruction. The detached man experiences life fully, but refuses to let any single experience dictate his state. He holds everything loosely because he knows anything held too tightly becomes a cage. Watch the men around you, the ones who are always bothered, always offended, always reacting to the world like raw nerve endings exposed to wind. They are prisoners, walking, breathing, suffering, prisoners of their own inability to let go. They are chained to outcomes they cannot control and people they cannot change. Now look at the man who needs nothing from anyone, the man who enters a room expecting nothing and fearing nothing, The man whose peace is not a gift from the world, but a fortress he built with his own hands from stone and cold discipline. That man is untouchable, unreachable, free. That is where you must arrive. Not someday, not eventually. Now, detach from the outcome, detach from the opinion, detach from the noise. What remains when everything is stripped away is the only thing that was ever truly yours. Your unshakable, ice-cold, sovereign self. Number 5. The death of expectation. Expectation is the mother of all suffering. Not betrayal, not loss, not cruelty. Expectation. Every wound you carry right now was born the moment you expected something from someone who owed you nothing. You wrote a contract in your mind that the other person never signed. Then you bled when they broke invisible terms. The weak man expects loyalty, he expects fairness, he expects the world to operate by the same moral code he invented inside his own skull. And when people betray him, he acts shocked, devastated, destroyed, as if the history of mankind has not been an endless parade of broken promises and calculated deception since the very first civilization crumbled. Machiavelli warned that men will always disappoint you when the cost of loyalty exceeds the reward of betrayal. This is not cynicism, this is mathematics. Cold, merciless, undeniable mathematics. People operate on incentive. Remove the incentive, and the loyalty vanishes like smoke in a winter storm. Every single time. The strong man expects nothing, not because he is bitter, not because he has been hurt too many times, but because he understands the architecture of human nature at its foundation. People are not good or evil. They are strategic. They move toward pleasure and away from pain. Your feelings are not part of their calculation. When you kill expectation, something terrifying happens. You become impossible to disappoint. Think about that. Sit with the weight of it. A man who cannot be disappointed, cannot be manipulated, cannot be guilt-tripped, cannot be emotionally blackmailed into submission by someone threatening to withdraw affection he never needed in the first place. This is freedom the average man will never taste. He is too addicted to hope, too drunk on the fairy tale that people will treat him the way he treats them. He keeps depositing trust into accounts that have been emptied 1,000 times and wonders why he is always bankrupt. It is pathetic. It is preventable. Stop expecting. Start observing. Watch what people do when they think you are not paying attention. Watch how quickly promises dissolve when sacrifice is required. Watch how loyalty evaporates when a better option presents itself. This is not darkness. This is clarity. The coldest, most liberating clarity you will ever possess. Type in the comments now. I expect nothing. I am owed nothing. I am free. Let those words become the gravestone of every naive illusion that has ever cost you your peace. Number 6. The art of emotional invisibility. The man who shows his emotions in public is a man who has already been conquered. He has handed his enemies a blueprint of every crack, every pressure point, every fracture line in his psychological armor. He walks through the world naked and wonders why the wolves keep finding him. The weak man wears his heart on his sleeve and calls it authenticity. He broadcasts his pain on social media. He announces his anger in meetings. He lets his face betray every thought before his mouth even opens. He is an open book in a world full of men who read books only to find weaknesses to exploit. Machiavelli understood that visibility is vulnerability. The prince who reveals his true intentions is the prince who gets assassinated first, not by enemies, by allies, by the people standing closest to him who now possess the most dangerous weapon in existence, knowledge of what moves him, knowledge of what breaks him. Emotional invisibility is not suppression. Suppression is a dam holding back a flood that will eventually destroy everything. Invisibility is the complete evaporation of the flood itself. There is nothing to hold back because there is nothing there for anyone to find. You have moved your true self into a vault that no key can open. Watch powerful men closely, not the ones who perform power on cameras and stages, the real ones, the ones who sit in boardrooms and say nothing while others argue themselves into exhaustion. Their faces reveal nothing, Their voices carry no tremor. Their eyes are steel doors behind which entire empires of thought operate in absolute darkness, unreachable, unreadable, untouchable. When you become emotionally invisible, people begin to project their own fears onto you. They fill your silence with their insecurities. They assume you know more than you do. They assume you see more than you show. And in that assumption, they hand you power you never even had to earn. They defeated themselves while you simply stood there breathing. This is the coldest advantage a man can possess. Not intelligence, not money, not physical dominance. The ability to exist in a room full of chaos and radiate absolutely nothing. No warmth, no hostility, no signal whatsoever. Just presence, just weight, just the unbearable gravity of a man who cannot be decoded. Become the shadow they cannot trace. Become the wall they cannot climb. Become the silence that haunts them long after you have left the room. Number 7. People are mirrors, not weapons. Every person who has ever angered you was holding a mirror, not a blade. They did not cut you. They showed you where you were already bleeding. The wound existed long before they arrived. They simply pressed on it and you mistook the pressure for the cause of the pain. The weak man blames others for his emotional state. He says, "She made me angry." He says, "He ruined my day." He says, "They disrespected me." Every sentence begins with someone else as the subject. He has written himself out of his own story. He is a side character in a life that was supposed to be his empire. Machiavelli knew that the man who blames external forces is the man who will never govern anything, not a city, not a kingdom, not even his own trembling hands. Blame is surrender disguised as accusation. It is the white flag painted to look like a weapon. It fools no one except the man waving it. When someone triggers you, they have not created a new wound. They have exposed a fault line you refused to examine. The co-worker who disrespects you did not install your insecurity. The partner who ignores you did not build your need for validation. These fractures were laid into your foundation years ago by hands you have long forgotten. The strong man does not look outward when he is disturbed. He turns inward with the cold precision of a surgeon examining his own body on the operating table. He asks the questions weak men are too afraid to whisper. Why did that bother me? What nerve was struck? What unhealed rot inside me just sent a signal to the surface? This is the work no one wants to do. It is easier to rage. It is easier to blame. It is easier to build an entire identity around being the victim of other people's behavior than to sit alone in a dark room and confront the decaying architecture of your own unprocessed trauma. Easier, yes, but easy has never built anything that lasted. People are data points. They are diagnostic tools walking around in skin. Every emotional reaction they provoke in you is a gift wrapped in discomfort, a signal flare showing you exactly where your defenses are weakest. The cold man does not curse the signal. He does not shoot the messenger. He reads the message and reinforces the wall before the next attack arrives. Number 8. The architecture of inner cold. Coldness is not born. It is built, brick by brick, silence by silence, wound by wound. Every man who walks this earth with unshakable calm was not gifted that stillness at birth. He constructed it from the wreckage of every moment that should have destroyed him, but did not. His peace is not inherited. It is engineered. The weak man believes emotional discipline is a talent, something you either have or you do not. This is the lie cowards tell themselves so they never have to begin the work. They look at the unmovable man and assume he was carved from different stone. He was not. He carved himself, alone, in darkness, with tools made from his own suffering. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the man who builds walls before the flood arrives. Not during, not after, before. The architecture of inner cold must be constructed in peacetime. In the quiet mornings when no one is attacking you. In the still nights when no one is testing your composure. You build the fortress when the sky is clear because when the storm arrives, there is no time for construction. This means daily practice. It means sitting in silence when your mind screams for distraction. It means observing your thoughts like a general watching enemy formations from a tower. without engagement, without judgment, without the desperate need to chase every feeling that flickers across your consciousness like fire across dry grass. It means conditioning your nervous system to treat provocation as irrelevance, not through affirmations, not through meditation retreats where soft men cry in circles and call it healing. Through deliberate, cold, repetitive exposure to discomfort until your threshold for pain becomes so high that ordinary insults feel like wind against a mountain, meaningless, weightless, forgotten before they finish echoing. Every morning you wake up is a construction day. Every interaction is a stress test on your walls. Every provocation is an inspection of your foundation. The cold man welcomes these tests. He does not avoid conflict. He does not hide from difficult people. He walks directly into the fire because he knows his architecture is fireproof and the flames only confirm what he already built. You are not waiting to become unbreakable. You are building it right now with every conscious decision to remain still when the world demands you shatter. Every second of chosen discipline is a brick in your fortress. Lay them daily, lay them coldly, lay them without mercy for your own weakness. Number 9. The cold throne. You have stayed until the end. That alone separates you from the herd. The weak clicked away minutes ago. They returned to their distractions, their arguments, their endless cycle of reaction and regret. But you are still here, sitting in the cold, breathing in the silence. That tells me everything I need to know about you. You are not the same person who pressed play on this video. Something has shifted. Something behind your eyes has hardened. Not into cruelty, not into bitterness, into something far more dangerous. Clarity, the kind of clarity that cannot be unlearned, the kind that makes you look at the world and finally see the strings attached to every puppet dancing around you. Machiavelli wrote that the first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men around him. Look around you now. Look at the men who crumble over comments. Look at the men who wage wars over text messages. Look at the men who hand their peace to strangers like beggars throwing coins into a fire. That is no longer you. You have been handed the blueprint, not motivation, not inspiration. Those are drugs for weak men who need to feel something before they act. You have been given architecture, cold steel frameworks for a mind that no longer bends, no longer breaks, no longer begs the world for permission to feel powerful. From this moment forward, anger is beneath you. Reaction is beneath you. The desperate need to be understood, validated, respected by people who cannot even govern their own emotions is a game you no longer play. You have exited the arena. You now sit above it, watching from the cold throne of a man who answers to no one. Before you leave, do one final thing. Type in the comments, "I am the stone, not the wind. I expect nothing. I am owed nothing. I am free." Let that be your declaration. Not to me, not to this channel, to yourself, to the man you were before this video and the man you are becoming after it. Now hit the like button, not for me, for the algorithm that will carry these words to another man still trapped in the prison of his own reactions. Subscribe, turn on notifications. Share this with someone who is still bleeding from wounds they refuse to examine. And remember that the cold throne is not given. It is built. Now go build yours. Number 10. The graveyard of your old self. There is a version of you that needs to die tonight. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Tonight. He is the man who flinches when voices rise. He is the man who rehearses arguments in the shower with people who have already forgotten his name. He is the man who lies awake, marinating in conversations that ended hours ago. He must be buried, without ceremony, without grief. The weak man carries his old self like a corpse strapped to his back. He drags it into every new relationship, every new opportunity, every new room. He wonders why he is exhausted. He wonders why nothing changes. Nothing changes because he refuses to kill the version of himself that keeps choosing the same patterns dressed in different skin. Machiavelli wrote that whoever wishes to foresee the future must consult the past. But he also understood that a man chained to his past has no future worth consulting. Your history is not your identity. It is a graveyard. And graveyards are meant to be visited briefly, not lived in permanently, like a ghost haunting his own wasted potential. Tonight you must perform a funeral. Close your eyes and see him clearly. The reactive man, the emotional beggar, the man who measured his worth by how others treated him. See his face, recognize him, thank him for surviving long enough to carry you to this moment. Then put him in the ground without a single tear. The cold man is not reborn. He is not transformed. He is what remains after everything weak has been burned away, like steel forged in fire that did not ask to be heated but emerged harder than anything the flame could produce. You do not become strong. You remove everything that was making you weak until strength. This is not philosophy. This is execution. Tomorrow morning you will wake up and the world will test you immediately. Someone will disrespect you. Someone will disappoint you. Someone will try to drag you back into the grave you just climbed out of. And in that moment you will have a choice. React like the dead man or remain still like the cold throne you have built from the ashes of who you used to be. The dead do not rise in this kingdom. Bury him deep. Walk forward. Never look back. The man you are becoming has no use for the man you were. Let him rot in peace.